Good morning, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the first of 2 live streams today, 2 installments, and of course this is the Ahn Rho Project self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life as well as a self-improvement process to reach goals and heights that I've set for myself. This includes, of course, in the Ahn Rho Project, various ways of describing in terms of subseries, domains, and analogies, which we will get to very shortly, but before that, what you see is what you get. Alright, so you take a look in the room and you take a look in the title. What do you see? Basically, we're going to be working on an outline. This is sub-series BMDP. I know it sounds a little bit like BDSM. There's a little bit play on words. I'm being a little bit punny with it. But yes, this is a shorthand notation for basically basics, maintenance, decontamination, and purification. So I'm going to go about my room. Largely, this is one of the sub-series I've started to host, trying to resolve 3 months of absolute hell and chaos from various domains of life, such as finance, employment, business, projects, relationships, caregiving, volunteering, groceries, electronics, devices, systems, philosophy, principles. Everything's just going to shit all at the same time, and so this is really a live stream once again, one sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project dedicated to trying to resolve all of this. So why don't we dive into the introduction, I suppose, and what we have to cover. Like I said, we're going to, after I work through the introduction, maybe 2-3 minutes, we're going to just get straight to the content, and that is to work out a plan. And I look around the room, so before we start the introduction, I will say you can see that there's things are still a mess. It's a significant improvement from yesterday's live stream, which again you can find on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. There's even a Korean platform I'm hosting on right now, so 안녕하세요 if you speak Korean. And so there's maybe about 40 different areas. Maybe 8 different areas of items are broken down by regions A through G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And there are 8 regions, but there are roughly about 40 different things, or 40 different subgroups of items that I need to sort of form a plan for, and that's what we're going to do on this live stream. Okay, so before that, the introduction is, of course, I already covered a bit of it about the Ahn Rho Project being the self-therapeutic project. So I was talking about sub-series, domains, and areas or domains of life, and analogies. So sub-series include, obviously, this one I say BDMP, standing for decontamination, purification. Again, it's focused on mostly just, you see all this waste here, which I'm going to cover in today's first stream right here, as well as the second stream. But it's a lot of decontamination, cleaning up the basics so that I can get along with my life, so that, basically I have to go to work and I still have to keep myself in some sort of presentable way, and I still have to maintain my health. So it's getting the basics down, having food, clothing, and shelter, just looking presentable, making sure I still get sleep, enough shower, taking care of myself, and taking care of the room, and taking care of the basic needs for survival, at least. So that's the one sub-series. Another one focuses on 1,000 days to death, so 1KD, very straightforward, only 1,000 days to live. In fact, you see the title, it says 30-something%, I believe. That means 300 days have passed if every day is 1%. The ticker is still counting down, in fact. And there are other sub-series like Item Catalog, which again focuses on inventory management. Another one, saving a caregiver, or really my guardians, and I'm the caregiver now, essentially. So, a lot of different problems, and each sub-series focuses on some combination of different domains of life, such as, say, finance and health combined in one for one specific person. And so it's relationships, health, and finance all into one, or disease maybe. So that would be, for example, the saving a caregiver involves me getting my maternal side of the guardian, so my mother, her a job back, trying to fix her health. She's into this state, this rut, where she's apparently, at first we thought it was bone infection, and then chronic arthritis that she's had for over 20 to 30 years. But now on top of that, it seems that it's developed, her immune system is so weak that even during COVID-19, it is the worst time. But our family doctor is telling her that she's had, blood cancer now. She's starting to develop stages of some symptoms of very worrying signs of that. So needless to say, all that kind of stuff is, for example, one sub-series which I dub Saving a Caregiver, and that's one very heavy sub-series, but there are other ones too which I don't carry that much weight, aren't at least as serious or dramatic, I suppose, of a sub-series to cover. I'm stuttering a little bit, sorry. Of course, domains, I went a little bit too deep into that. Domains of life, I mentioned already: finance, money, all the different aspects or areas of life. It's very straightforward. Hobbies and interests even would fall into that, music, but that's all saved for later on when we can actually get the basics of life under control. And then finally, analogies. So analogies are ways I use to my hands are getting a little bit tired here holding the phone, but basically it's an easy way for you to understand each of these sub-series, as well as the Ahn Rho Project. The Ahn Rho Project is like self-therapy. It's also like a survival game in the modern day era. That's the way I like to describe it. I used to play a game called RuneScape when I was a kid, and I like to say that these are sort of like the modern day areas of like wood cutting and stuff like that. But taking care of your relationships, of your health, of your finance, making sure you get exercise, making sure you have a job and income, making sure you resolve the problems if you're like me and you come from a place of poverty and you don't have a lot of background in very fundamental management skills or education and that kind of stuff. And you've suffered a lot of, potentially abuse or harassment, even from your own direct bloodline and family members, and so you don't even have family at that point. And so these are all problems that I would consider basics. And so analogy for that might be like a game. It's like also therapy. It's also specifically for the item catalog subseries, it's what is that? Business inventory. I like to use that analogy a lot to apply business inventory, shipping, and receiving principles onto your daily life, so you can clean your room properly and clean up so you can get yourself sorted out, essentially. And so those are analogies, domains, as well as sub-series, and that's all part of the Ahn Rho Project, and that's the way I can communicate that to all of you. So that being said, that is the Ahn Rho Project, and we're going to start trying to work out a plan. I'm taking a look at the time. It says about 7 minutes in. So we have about another 7 minutes to work through. I try to get the streams done in 15 minutes because that's the limit for Instagram. So why don't I try to look around the room? The first thing that I know is very important through just a lot of experience is it's very important to get a bigger picture of the entire room before I start working, because I need to assess the whole scope of the situation. So just looking around, I can say, so this is G, the bed. We have clothing here that I haven't done for laundry, and we have to talk a little bit about that. On top of next to it is F and E. E at the back there has only a minor thing. There's a little cap that I need to put away. F here has a lot of this winter clothing that I'm supposed to sort out. We have gloves, a headband, my work-related stuff like a back support belt, as well as a face mask and earmuffs, all that kind of stuff there. Then we have in area D, I used to consider D as a sort of this main hall region, but clearly I have to split it up into many sections now because it's all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, temporarily speaking, this used to be a D, but I'm going to break up D into DA, DB on the bed, DC right here in front of me, and DD. So broken out to D1, 2, 3, and 4. How about with that? That's the way to look at it. So D1 here, we have a lot of the stuff regarding some work-related materials up here, and and some business materials down here, because I do have a side business aside from this project and full-time job, obviously. And then on top of the bed, we have some of this paperwork here and books here and some gifts from my workplace that are safety equipment. So a lot of this stuff seems to be kind of serious. It's like print material, books. We have a lot of paper. We have some garbage here too, though, some food here. And then moving down, and of course up there, that's just stuff we don't really need to take a look at right now. That's just some stuff that we don't need to touch. Okay, so D2, D1, D2, D3. D3 right now we have some garbage here that I've packaged. If you take a look at my previous live stream yesterday, I was basically trying to sort out a lot of the garbage, and that's what we have here. I've actually you can see, I'll talk about later how I managed to package everything together so that it's nice and easy for me to take out to the receptacle, compost, recycling, and litter box. So moving up here, you can also see there's a lot of products here, and there's even mail, and there's some devices and gadgets, so it's a huge mess. And in that same area, between D3 and D4, we have this sort of all these more products from my business. So it's just a whole bunch of business products right here, here, and here. And but it's certainly a lot cleaner than yesterday, and I'm very glad to see that. Don't forget the fax machine. That's from a colleague of mine at the workplace. By the way, I should mention it's not just work-related materials, so my bag here, but also we have, you know, these napkins here. I want to give away to my guardians, the ones here for me to use to cover myself in the mask. I'll get to that in a second very quickly. And then we have actually some more garbage here, so I'll have to cover that in the second stream. So now we're back into the closet. So this is C. So again, the bed here is G, F for going down, okay. G, F, E, and D was supposed to be all one segment, but now it's all broken down into 4 areas because there's so much garbage here. C is perhaps one of the easier places to clean out. I take a look up there. I can tell you that there's some stuff I took out and put it. I have it over here. It's just some plastic bags, and that's important to mention because I did have to use this to wash my bed sheets, and I'll get to that in the second live stream. As well, in addition, on this side of the closet, so that was the right hand side, this is the left hand side right here, we had to take out some stuff. Not just, see, this area is actually supposed to be where I place all the products and supplements that I have for my business. I've taken them out because I actually needed to get some expiring toothpaste from 2016, and I put them over here. So we're moving from area C, or region C, sorry, over to region B, and B is really right next to the office A. So B right here, we have, you know, all this Colgate and toothpaste and all that kind of stuff. But we also have these clamps here I'm supposed to use for live streaming. I haven't been able to do that recently. Obviously, I'm walking around the room. There's no way it'd be useful to me right now. Now, down here in region B, we also see that there's some gloves. There's a lot of safety equipment from my workplace. Now, like I said, I have a business. I'm running this project, and then on top of that I have a full-time job, and then I'm still caregiving for my guardians because one of them is having severe illness. And so there's just a whole lot of, you can break each of those things down, and then you'll get a whole bunch of, you know, subdomains: financial issues, health issues, disease, so on and so forth, applying for government assistance, all that kind of stuff. Needless to say, we have some safety stuff here. These gloves here I bring to work, and they get renewed about every 2-3 days or so. This mask too. This is important because over here I was supposed to use those paper napkins or tissue papers to cover up myself, and so I provide a second layer really just to, in case you know, it's a winter and sometimes you sneeze, sneezing into the mask. So put a paper napkin there. Okay, moving on to the side here, finally A, we moved to A, and A right now seems to be not too shabby. It's a huge improvement from yesterday. Again, yesterday's live stream, you would have seen that it's a huge mess. I held 3 live streams to try to clean up everything. It was good. In fact, I worked the full day on this project. I spent over 10 hours yesterday just working on this project, on the Ahn Rho Project, specifically the item catalog portion or sub-series. And oh man, it was a huge fucking mess. I have cleaned up everything here to the best of my ability that I could, in terms of what I covered yesterday, and then I saved whatever I need to cover, what I still need to clean up for today's live stream. And so I can say, you know, very safely in the second live stream, we're going to talk about how we cleaned up the mess at the back and up front here. So this region, lastly, region A, the office. So that being said, I'm going to end the live stream here and say we're going to continue off in the second live stream because, you know, again, it's about 14 minutes now, and we're going to now head on to the second live stream where we actually deep dive into this a lot more, each region and what we have to do, and I will actually do those things properly in that live stream. So with that being said, also stay tuned, of course, for the take-home message in the second live stream. This is the Ahn Rho Project. Thank you for tuning in. In about 5 minutes, we'll continue where we left off, I think, possibly with the clothing first. Okay? So I'll see you all there. This is Ahn Rho. 5 minutes.